Anime one. Before we get started into this playlist for this channel, let me state that Wednesdays will be just for anime ones only. Monday and Fridays will be for gaming, and I just want to make sure that's clear because I do want those 2 days to have funny related videos, and the best way I can get that is through gaming. Really, trolls, all that type of stuff. It's a good laugh. Wednesdays will just be for arguments, really, discussions, debates, and I honestly think reading the comments, seeing what you guys are saying, see if you agree or disagree, will be a good read. And it's also a really chill day. Like I'm learning how to edit at this very moment, and being able to play around with these edits and see what you guys are saying, if y'all enjoy it or not, also be good. See what I need to work on and what I'm already doing good at. Off that topic, what are anime ones about? So anime ones will be about characters versus characters, basically, and I want to choose characters that are highly discussed and somewhat known. I know that Yhwach Bach isn't that known because you only know him from reading the manga, right? And I think that if you're here on this video, you already know a little bit of Yhwach Bach, correct? Because you clicked on it, and it's Aizen versus someone that is also well known in the manga and soon anime in October. So how each character is decided in anime ones, I usually have these type of discussions with people beforehand, and the ones that require me to think, and it isn't just this person beats this person because blah blah blah, and they don't have a counter argument, or their counter argument is very trash, I decide to make a video over those two. And honestly, Aizen vs Yhwach Bach is a very good starting video because it could honestly go either way if you don't know much info, right? Because Yhwach Bach is the strongest. Everyone can somewhat agree on that. And then we have Aizen here, who is a special class, stated by Yhwach Bach himself because of his Keto. And once you start reading and diving deeper into both of them, you'll start to figure out things and start to realize that it isn't always what it seems. You're reading a book by its cover instead of getting into the details. So, just to sum it up, each character is decided on a argumentative point of view on why and how, and not just this character would just win. And at the end of the day, I do want to clarify that this is all my opinion. Of course, I'll just provide facts here and there, but just to clarify, at the end of the day, it is my opinion. And I could be wrong, honestly. Comments could completely prove me wrong, or they could help me justify what my opinion is right. And I'm completely fine with that. Reading the comments and seeing what you guys are saying, seeing if you agree or disagree would be a joy, because it allows me to also relook at this situation and be like, you know what, he's right. You know what? Alright, we're back. So what I was stating was, the comments allows me to see if you guys also agree or disagree with me. And like I said before, I am completely fine with that. It allows me to get even more joy seeing if someone's opinion is also correct, or seeing if they just prove me wrong back to back with facts behind it, stating from like light novels or even the manga panels itself. And I think that will also help me start to get a clearer idea of how I should do these anime ones. So for sure, I will enjoy comments and seeing how you guys interact with each other and then myself. I think it'd be amazing. But getting all that out the way, I think it's time to start the first episode of Anime Ones. So now that we're finally in Anime Ones and that long intro, sorry about that, I'll now be going over the structure for Anime Ones all together. This structure will cover every video from now on, and it'll just be a way so you guys will know how I am going about this and how I'm seeing things. So one of the first things I will discuss about each character from now on is their character feats, what they've done, and why I would say they're strong in these types of matchups. Second thing is their powers, of course, what they can do, how strong they are, and so forth. Third would be how strong they are compared to other characters in that said genre. Because some anime ones will be different genres, and the best way we can compare these characters to their offset, the person they're versing, is by comparing them to the people in their genre and comparing them to how strong those people are in their genre. So starting this off already, Aizen. Aizen will be the first person we're going over in this anime one. And to start it all off, what has Aizen not done? Being the former captain of the 5th Division of Gotei 13, we all know that, and him betraying them to strive for greater power. This led to him starting a war between Soul Society and him easily using espadas and arancars, which he created himself with the Hogyoku. And we'll go over the Hogyoku later, honestly, because that's also a huge thing that Aizen also had, which caused him to evolve further. Continuing though, the fact that he was able to blitz about every captain that he fought with ease as he was evolving mid-fight. Every single captain, and he was toying with them. Hogyoku constantly, every time he got knocked down, every time something happened, even when Gin took the Hogyoku from him, he evolved even further, stating how this was just another step for him, and then he didn't have use for Gin anymore. Continuing with that, after he fought Ichigo, and Ichigo used Mugetsu on him, he survived that attack. That is such a huge feat, and not only did he survive that attack, he was able to evolve even further, and his blade started to dissipate, dissolve into nothing, finally him fusing with his Zanpakuto altogether, just like how Ichigo did when he went in Mugetsu. So after he did all that, he was finally sentenced to Mugen, I think, for 20,000 years. While being sentenced down there, and the reason why he was sentenced down there, let me clear this up, is because he is immortal. He could not die at all. And I think it's because the Hogyoku. I could be wrong on that matter, but we can skip over that. So, continuing with knowing some of these feats for Aizen, I don't think I need to go into super details about his feats. But if we continue around, we get to Aizen's powers. And if I do miss a feat that's huge that you want to implement, put in the comments, and I'll read over it and I'll be like, yeah, I did forget that, that's my fault. But let's talk about his powers. So Aizen is a genius. And I know that's not something huge to say because he is versing Yhwach Bach, who is also on a whole different league by himself. So adding in that genius part isn't that big, but we have to take into account how smart Aizen truly is. Being able to master Hados that are just that just outclass other captains alone. And the biggest one, which we all know, is Hado 90. Easily outclassing almost every captain he fought with that Hado alone. And continuing off of that, his Shikai is the most OP Shikai, and this is excluding light novels, because some light novel bankais are insane, and some of the abilities in light novels are insane for Bleach. But Aizen alone, his Shikai is amazing. And the thing that makes it so OP is the condition that was given to that Shikai was the fact that the person had to see it to be put in the hypnosis. But due to his Zanpakuto fusing with him and dissolving after the fight with Ichigo, it is now to a point where it's speculated where you just have to look at his body and you're already put under the hypnosis. And even if that's not the case, he can just manifest his Zanpakuto and use Shikai almost immediately after manifesting it, because keep in mind it is fused with his body. So continuing off of that, the name of the ability of his Shikai is Kanzen Simon. I could pronounce that and butcher that so wrong, but just work with me, I'll get better over time. Like I said, the condition is you have to see it in its release form as soon as it's released to be put in the hypnosis. But after that, each time Aizen were to release his Zanpakuto, they're put under the hypnosis. It is crazy OP on how strong that ability truly is, that Shikai truly is. So now that we've gone over his powers, and I know it's not a lot of powers, but just keep in mind he's a Keto master, so he knows about every Keto there is. His Shikai is stupidly OP. He is fused with his Zanpakuto, and he's just insanely strong. And going on about the insanely strong, we're going to compare him to other people in Bleach, the people that can be comparable. But the thing is, who can Aizen truly be compared to in Bleach at all? Truly no one. Not a single person can compare to Aizen because how OP he is. It just doesn't make sense at all. And truth be told, he could solo all of Squad Zero and blitz them with ease just with his Shikai alone. And on a side note, let's keep this in mind. Aizen never showed his ability of his Shikai until late. And you may be like, that isn't that big of a thing, people know it now, but keep in mind that the fact that he has that ability under wraps and kept secret, it is so huge in this fight that it would allow him to easily put Yhwach under his hypnosis. And he did do that in the manga panel, which I'll post later when we're talking about the fight and not talking about his feats. But altogether, Aizen is someone truly not to be fucked with, honestly. And him as a character is something that is greatly written, and his powers are crazy, especially after him obtaining the Hogyoku and evolving and then finally being the person he is in the Blood War arc, honestly. Alright, so now that we're done with Aizen, next is Yhwach Bach. So, we don't know a lot of information over Yhwach's past, only his present and his past now, if you read the Hell arc, the first chapter. But, going off of what we do know, we all know the saying that 900 years he would regain his pulse, 90 years he would regain his intelligence, and after 9 more years he would regain his powers. Knowing that, Yhwach's biggest feats we've seen or read is him being able to beat Yamamoto. Not only being able to beat Yamamoto, but steal his Bankai, and then right after completely obliterate his body. Not only is that so disrespectful, but it is a glimpse of his power, which I thought at the time was his maximum extent. He couldn't go any further. But then after being introduced to Squad Zero, and then him walking his way up there, not caring at all, and then completely obliterating Ichigo right after, it's quite insane on how he was written, how he was designed. Because looking back at it, I couldn't believe it. I think I read the chapter about 3 times, coming to the conclusion that Yhwach is just busted, brain dead. It's truly not fair on how that character was made. And I know that's kind of like counterintuitive, because I'm like, Aizen maybe has a chance against him, maybe not. But I think, and this is my own opinion, I truly think that it'll be a close match. But nevertheless, let's continue. Not only was he able to beat Yamamoto and Ichigo with relative ease, mind you, the fact that he was able to absorb Mimihagi, which was the right hand of the Soul King, which I believe it was the right hand. Yukitake had the right hand inside of him. And then absorbing the Soul King himself right after. It just shows me that his power can't be contained. It will always grow. Continuing, him being able to fight off Ichigo and Aizen at the same time to a certain extent had me ponder, like, Was it plot? Could it have been plot that literally took out Yhwach? Could it have been plot? And with that Quincy arrow, it could have been plot, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. Now being done with his amazing feats, mind you, his powers. Now Bach has a lot of abilities, a lot. And I'm not going to go over all of them. I'm just going to go over the ones that are clearly way too OP. And that will keep the fight on his side. Maybe. So one of these abilities, the main one being the Almighty. Now, the reason why I say the Almighty is his main ability in keeping this battle on his side is due to his first ability from this form, and that being the Omni Precognition. Now, what this ability does, it allows Yhwach to see everything that is to occur from the present moment into the far-flung future. And the reason why I say this is so strong is because he is able to pinpoint how fights will go in several different futures and change how that fight then favors him instead of the opposing force, the opposing factor. And on top of this, he has the second part of the ability, which it states as the true power of the Almighty. And this ability allows him to not only see the future, but dictate how that future is panned out, how it goes. And he utilizes this power against Ichigo when they were fighting by setting up a multitude of traps. So whenever Ichigo thinks he successfully dodged an attack and possibly got a small hit off, he then winds up that he takes 3 times the attack back, stepping on a trap, then stepping on another trap, and then so forth. The cycle continues. And it came to a point where Ichigo stared at him and started coming to the realization that he couldn't do anything. He started having doubt, fear. And Yhwach took notice of this and he told Ichigo, that same determination you had before, don't let it falter. Come at me again with all your power. Keep doing that. And of course this was egging on Ichigo at the end of the day. But this is just showing that his powers are unforeseen. No pun intended, but they're so OP that when you think you have the upper hand on him, you take 3 times the damage right back. Other than that, we also have the Soul King, the powers that he got from absorbing him. I don't think I need to mention this, and the only reason I don't think I need to mention this is because when he sent the drones down to take out all the Shinagamis from below, Aizen in the chair with the 17 restraints on, I think it was 17 or 18, I think it was 17. 20 in total, 3 were taken off 17, yep. With the restraints on and in the chair, he was able to use Hado 90 and wipe them all out. So I don't think the Soul King's powers are truly all that against Aizen. So I won't be mentioning that much when I start discussing the fight. But everything else Yhwach has is truly OP. And that's all for your watch. Next I will be discussing how the fight will go and who wins. So now on to who would win the fight and how would it go down. So in my opinion, after doing research over these two characters, seeing how strong they are and the feats they have accomplished and who they can be compared to, I will have to go with Aizen. And the reason why I would say Aizen would win this fight is, first we have to consider that all the restraints are moved. All 17 restraints are just gone. He doesn't have, it's completely peak Aizen. So knowing that, first let's take into consideration his Shikai. So in the manga, Aizen was able to put Yhwach under his Shikai, but the thing is, Aizen didn't know that he was able to do it himself until he figured it out as Yhwach put his arm through his body and thought it was Ichigo, but in reality it was Aizen. So in a fight between those two, Aizen wouldn't go to those extremities to see if his Shikai worked. Instead, he would take more of a strategic approach towards it and not do a simple hypnosis, but a hypnosis that makes it so Yhwach would attack something which he thinks is Aizen, but it really isn't. After this theory has worked out for Aizen, after he did his little test, he would shatter and show that Yhwach basically attacked nothing, a clone. Yhwach seeing this and him being so prideful in his powers of the Almighty, he would crumble. But not, I wouldn't say to a full extent, but to an extent where, let's say you have a power you believe is the strongest, and then someone else comes and proves that you're wrong, and it'll baffle you. It'll leave you dazed for a second or two. Aizen, knowing this, wouldn't let up a chance like this to pass, again, especially against someone that's Yhwach, someone that can easily be on par with him, surpass him. So knowing that, he would first take advantage of this fully, performing Goryu Tenmetsu. I'm pretty sure I butchered that, but it's the 5 dragons. Using that and instantly blitzing Yhwach. Once blitzed, Yhwach would do anything to prevent his attack from going off, aka using the Almighty to see the future. But at the same time, Aizen can change how the future is looking to a certain extent to befool Yhwach. So Yhwach uses the Almighty, sees the future, tries to negate his death like he did against Ichigo, where he was cut in half, and would attempt to get rid of that future. While Aizen at the same time is using his Shikai to his full advantage and keeping him in that hypnosis, and therefore killing him off before he even realizes he was still in Aizen's hypnosis. This goes back to when I was stating how Aizen keeping his abilities under wrap, even though there's no way Yhwach would know, right? But him keeping it under wrapped and hidden allows for these types of sneak attacks. These type of attacks that Yhwach wouldn't be able to understand until it happens to him, till it's too late. So, without the 17 restraints for Aizen and the Shikai alone, I don't see a way that Yhwach can compete at all. Especially with the restraints off. Even when he had the restraints on, he was still able to put up a fight and put Yhwach under the hypnosis. Imagine him with the 17 restraints off of him, how strong his hypnosis is. And if I'm not mistaken, with those restraints, it doesn't only limit the range of his Kido moves, it also limits his power altogether too. So knowing that, and how much work Aizen's able to do with and without the restraints, I believe this is heavily Aizen favored, honestly. Knowing that, at the end of the day, it is my opinion. I'm happy that you guys stayed this long. It's like over a 22-minute video, and the editing alone took me from 10 a.m. to what time is it now? 6:08 p.m. and I'm still not done. It'll still take me another 2 hours just to edit this. I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video. For real, it means a lot to me. More of this will come for sure. Anime ones will be a thing. Playlists will be a nice thing. Friday will be gaming. I'll be uploading a compilation of some games, raging, all that. And just remember, the schedule is Monday, Friday gaming, Wednesday anime ones. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and just tell me what you think overall. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.